Hi, I'm Dave Bliss. I'm the Camping Committee Chair for the GNSC Council. I'm also the co-chair for the Birchbark program. Today we're going to demonstrate, make a video of how to erect a dining fly, why you erect it and the equipment that you need to do it, and the knots that you need to do it with. The basic equipment you need is a paracord long enough to go between your two trees for your ridgeline. We have the dining fly, and we have stakes to stake it down. I also have a couple short pieces of paracord that I'm going to show you how to tie prusik knots, which you use to secure your dining fly to the ridgeline. Okay, helping me today in this demonstration is Mark McCormick, one of our Birchbark guides, and Peter Jablonski, another Birchbark guide. First thing we're going to do is stretch the dining cord or the ridgeline out to make sure we have enough cord. Then we're going to start demonstrating the knots. Take that out. On this tree, go around that side. Around to me. On this tree we're going to secure it with 2 half hitches, and when we're done with the demonstration we'll show you a close-up of what the knots look like. One other thing I want to show you is all the knots we're going to use today, except for the prusik knot, is they're going to be slippery knots, meaning they come apart quickly. And that helps you the day you leave. You can untie them quickly. On this side we're going to tie a taut line hitch with what little rope I have. Again, we'll demonstrate these knots up close after we're done with the video, or done erecting the thing. And again, I'm going to make this a slippery taut line that comes apart easily when we're ready to take the dining fly down. Just in summary, the 2 knots that we've used so far, the 2 half hitches and the taut line hitch, and we're also going to use a square knot, are 3 knots that you learned how to you tie for tenderfoot. And they're also for the requirement for 10-foot tenderfoot, which probably may or may not have been done, but you're supposed to tie these using in a practical application, which we're doing now. Okay? Now we're going to stretch out the dining fly. Yeah, this side goes over. Pull it over till you're at the yellow tab, right there. Right there, hang it down. Okay, we've got the dining fly stretched out, and before we fasten it down, we're going to tie the 2 prusik knots. Mark, if you want to hold this side down so the wind isn't blowing it around. Prusik knot is a simple knot you use to keep the dining fly from sliding on the rope. Basically, you make a loop, and this is a modified prusik. Make a loop, and you run the rope through, and through, and then just cinch it down on the ropes and you pull it, make it neatly, pull it all together so the wraps are close. The reason you do that is it gives more bite on your ridgeline. And then with a modified truss hook, I'm just going to put it through the grommet on the dining fly. Pull it down that way a little bit, Peter. And then just tie it off with a slippery square knot. And if you don't know how to tie that, look down at your shoes. It's the same knot you tie your shoes with. Okay, the reason, let me demonstrate quickly the reason for the prusik knot. Pull on that side, Peter. It keeps the dining fly from sliding on the rope or on the ridge line. Okay, now the prusik knot keeps the fly from sliding on the ridge line, but as you see, pull that down, Mark, after we've gotten it erected, the ridge line is starting to sag. This is where you use your taut line hitch. After you've got it up, you can just tighten up on the ridge line. That's our ridge line. Next thing we're going to do is stake out the fly. How many ropes we got here? Mark, here's one for Peter. There's one for you. There's one for you, Mark. There's one for me. The knot I use to stake out the flies is just a slip knot. Again, when we go to leave, we don't want a lot of complicated knots that we have to untie. And when I demonstrate the knots, I'll also demonstrate the easy way to do the slip knot to my two assistants. You got it, Peter?
In the knot.
Okay. Again, I just do a slip knot to make a loop. And I take it out and I stake it down. Okay, now in summary, what we have is a dining fly. When do you erect the dining fly? As soon as you get to your campsite, whether you get there by canoe or by backpacking or even by cars, the reason you erect your dining fly first, and this is a great example of it today with this rain, is you've got a place to store your gear right away. You have a place to open your packs up to get your essentials that you may need out right away. And you can also assemble your tents underneath the dining fly so they don't get wet. My assistants are getting the tent. When we get it over here, I'll explain what I'm talking about with that.
Ready.
This is what I mean by assembling the tent underneath the dining fly. All the tents that everybody uses now basically has a screen and a dry area inside, almost like a small bathtub. If you try to set this up in the rain, by the time you've got this set up and you got the rain fly over the top of it, you're going to have water on the inside. So basically anything you're trying to keep dry won't stay dry once you put it in the tent. We've assembled this partially already to expedite the video, but we're going to put it underneath the dining fly. Wait a second, guys. Okay. As you can see, it stays dry under there while you spread the dining fly, or excuse me, the rain fly of the tent on, fasten it down, and then you can take the assembled portion of the tent out to the spot you're going to set it up with. Now you may ask the question, what if the tent is bigger than this tent? The solution would be raise your dining fly up with your 2 ropes up on the tree high enough that you can set the tent up. Okay, after you've got the rain fly fastened down on the tent, then you can bring the tent out. 2 guys, bring the tent out of the way. To where you're going to finish setting it up. Okay, the first knot I'm going to demonstrate is 2 half hitches, and I'm going to finish it as 2 half hitches with a slippery end. Get close to that. Basically, there's 1 half hitch. Come back around the rope. So I'm going to finish it as a regular 2 half hitches first. There's a 2nd half hitches. For the dining fly, we're going to have this up the tree 6 or 7 feet up. So to make it easier taken down, when we go to leave, we leave the 1 half hitch there, and then for the slippery finish, instead of pulling the end line all the way through, we just make a loop and pull the loop through and tighten it up. This allows it to stay knotted tightly, but then when you go to leave and you can snug it down, pull that over there, Peter. When you go to take it down, make sure you have this line long enough that you can reach it from the ground. And when you go to take it down, all you got to do is pull that. Comes right apart without a whole lot of fuss. Okay, the next knot I'm going to demonstrate is a taut line hitch. Another knot you need to demonstrate for tenderfoot. First thing you do, put the rope around the tree, and I call it the L knot, but it's going to be a backwards L for this. Where my right hand is, you can see an L. Okay, I'm going to go out a little farther to make it simple. Right there. You make 2 wraps of your end line towards the tree. 1, 2, and then you go over and make another wrap on the other side of your down line over here. And then just snug it up. Again, that's your basic taut line hitch. And what it does with the 3 wraps around the rope, it gives enough bite that you can slide it down and tighten up. Some people as old as me call this the washerwoman's knot because you used it on your clothesline in your backyard. But none of you kids know what that is. Okay? I'm going to slide it back down here and show you how I make it. Just adapt it from a straight taut line to a slippery taut line, and all I do is on my finish, instead of running the end through, I make a loop and run that through, and tighten them up. But I'll lose everything here. And tighten it up. Okay, and that allows me to take it apart easily tomorrow morning when we leave. Okay, everybody see that?
You're right.
The last knot I'm going to show you, which is not one of the required knots for Boy Scouts, is a prusik knot. Normally a prusik knot is made with a loop, but for the purposes of the dining fly, we want the two ends loose. At the end of the video, we'll show you a link to a demonstration how to do the prusik knot. Basically, all you do is a loop. Okay? You take your two ends and wrap it around one time, two times, and then just tighten them down. This is a good knot, and we have our two ends that we used to tie off the tab on the dining fly. This is a good knot to use when you want to attach. You have a ridgeline or a rope, and you want to attach another rope to it. It slides, but when you pull on the end, it doesn't slide. So you can adjust the prusik where you want it on the ridgeline, attach your end to it, and it won't, when you pull on it, it won't slide on the rope. Again, that's a prusik knot.